Welcome back to Sun Valley Lanes. A reminder, if you'd like a copy of these high school championships, just log on to our website at nhsbf.com, follow the prompts, and you can pick up this DVD of this year's 2017 Boys State High School Championships. Ready to go here between the Dragons and the Blue Jays, Seward and Gretna. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays lineup. We'll start with Clint Cutter. Then the triplets, Elias, Avery, and Eric still on. Chase Prokow is the anchor. Garrett Cuss and Thomas Ringler. That's a look at Seward. And a look at the Gretna Dragons of head coach Doug Hymas, Medford, Hymas, Vanderheiden, Hardees, Dyke, and Zagurski. Gretna and Seward for this Class B Boys State Championship.
For me, asking why is just getting started.
It's more than an activity. It's me doing what I love.
I'm not a stereotype. When I rewrite the rules, things get better.
I know that all these experiences matter.
These moments will help me become something more.
Little things always lead to something bigger.
Do it.
Trek it.
Earn it.
What you're doing now will help you get scholarships later. Find resources from Education Quest at trackyoursuccess.org.
Whether it's spring planting, fall harvesting, or just a drive across the state, soy biodiesel helps a diesel-powered engine operate in a demanding job. Soybean oil from Nebraska soybeans makes biodiesel a renewable fuel that's also environmentally responsible. The soybean checkoff plays a major role in supporting the use and availability of biodiesel. The Nebraska Soybean Board, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Funding for the NMSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that over 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
Hi, I'm Perry Stoner. Sports fans tell us that NET brings Nebraska together through coverage of high school and college athletics. Contributions from hundreds of Sports Partners Club members make possible more than 200 hours of sports throughout the year. Members receive invitations to special events like tailgates with sports notables and live productions. You can join the Sports Partners Club by visiting netnebraska.org. Sports partners like you put the action in NET sports. Thank you.
It's all-day fun on NET Kids. Starting January 1st, all your favorite shows are staying the same, but they have new times. Visit our website or call 800-634-6788 for a program schedule. Same great shows all day long on NET.
Good crowd on hand here for the Class B title. Seward will be up first on the left-hand lane. They were the top seed, #1 seed after the qualifying. So 4 games of qualifying yesterday, and then Baker play. Seward seeded at #1, and here's their leadoff bowler. Elias still on, starts it off with the strike. One of three, one of the triplets on this Seward Blue Jays team. On the right-hand lane now, here is Tanner Vanderheiden. He's a senior, first-year player. He's actually started the year on JV, and you see he's kind of got that one-hand ball cupped, or hand cupped under the ball action. He actually started the year on JV in his first year, moved up to varsity this year, and now in a leadoff spot.
When you mentioned that he's a first-year player, there are several first-year players on this Gretna team.
Yeah.
Mike, Tanner, and Kobe are all first-year players who are not only bowling for their first year, but obviously now in their championship.
Yeah, what an accomplishment to make it here to the state finals.
Absolutely.
State championship, and their first year with such a inexperienced team. Young may not be the right word, but inexperienced. They have 3 seniors, 2 juniors. Vanderheiden, one of the seniors, that does not react and opens the door for Seward to take the early lead here. Here is Clint Cutter. Cutter is a senior. And a good cover, so back-to-back marks for Seward to open up this state championship. The Blue Jays knocked off Roncalli and Waverly to get here. They were the top seed. Gretna was the number 7 seed. So what that means essentially is after qualifying, they were next to last. There are only 8 teams down here in Class B. They were next to last after qualifying, so did not bowl well in the qualifying. But it's Baker bowling, and anything can happen in Baker's competition. They got hot. Once they hit the head-to-head, they knocked off the number 2 seed, Hastings. Hastings is a perennial power in Class B. We'll talk about what they've done in the past, but they beat Hastings in the opening round and then knocked off Lexington 3-zip in the semifinals. So they won it 3-0, not just advancing, but advancing 3-zip.
Kind of a Cinderella story.
Yeah, absolutely. Riley Hymas with that last mark to check that with that miss for Gretna. So they're still looking for their first mark. Slide through, misses the 5. We'll leave the 2-5, so we'll work to do that for Avery still on. Up on the right-hand lane, here's Chris Zagurski. Zagurski is senior. Plays very up the boards, does not get that head pin to take out the 10 off of the wall.
Avery here for Seward, just like his 2 brothers, the triplets. He and his brother Eric are heading to UNL in the fall, both going to major in microbiology, and Avery hopes to go pre-med.
Looking for the first spare of the match, and still did not come up with the first ever trip here into the finals for Gretna. This program, this team, these guys have never been in this environment, so stands to reason there would be some early jitters. Here is the standout for Seward. This is Chase Prochnow, and Prochnow has a terrific game. He's been on varsity since his freshman year. A solid player.
And along with Avery and Eric, he is also planning on attending UNL in the fall. He's going to major in computer engineering.
Kobe Hardy's. There you go. That'll get it started.
A lot of emotion from him. We saw that in the semifinals. He has a lot of emotion when he bowls. Pumps his team up. Chase, the team captain for Seward.
And a good cover for Chase. They are clean through 5, so an impressive start here for the Jays. This is a Seward program that was so good for so long and hit maybe some down times, but recently with Chase and the resurgence of that center and program, they've been very competitive and now finally breaking through and making it back here into the finals. Seward actually was the first ever champion in Class B of the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. They knocked off Beatrice back in 2003. That was the first year of our championships.
Justin up for Gretna has the nickname Iceman, and I asked, had they seen Top Gun and knew what it was referencing, and they assured me that yes, they had all seen Top Gun.
It's a classic.
Right?
Doesn't matter how old you are, you've seen Top Gun, right? So Gretna with back-to-back marks to end the first half of this first game and try to get back on track. Down by 35, but not too far behind to make a move here. Bring up Tanner Vanderheyden. Tanner last time up 6 open.
Gretna's coach talked yesterday about how much he enjoys spending time with these players and the fun that they have together. He said that most of them aren't in any other sport, and so just having that feeling of being able to represent their school. Some of them, the awards that they've won in bowling are the first awards that they've won for their school, and so he just really appreciated the opportunity to coach these young men and have them be, active participants in athletics for their school.
Well, Seward has been a long-time proponent of making bowling a sanctioned sport within the high schools through the NSAA. I know former athletic director there and many people in Seward and in that community really pushed hard the last time it was up for a vote. It's coming up again in January, and I know how active that entire community and those parents and bowlers will be. And trying to help this get past and become a sanctioned sport. There's a nice strike on that left-hand lane. And Riley Hymas.
You know, you'll hear us talk a lot about the other activities that a lot of these kids are involved in. Many of them are very strong academically and participate in other sports, but this is just a small cross-section of high school bowling. And a lot of high school athletes who participate in bowling, 85 to 90% of them actually don't participate in another sport. So this is an ideal sport for kids that might not be the tallest kid or the fastest or the strongest, but it's a skill-based sport based on repetition, a lot like golf. And so it's an opportunity for kids to participate in a sport that they feel like they can excel at and be good at it, and also represent their school, much like a lot of other more traditional high school sports.
Look out, here comes Gretna, huh? They'll let you know it too. Ooh! First open of the game for Seward. And maybe opens the door just a crack, because Gretna with that double on top of the open is now only 9 pins back, but a strike here would essentially even it up. And the hole does not get the carry. Leaves the 7 pin. So now on that right-hand lane, here is Eric still on. Eric very direct up the boards. Leaves the 3-6. Makeable spare.
Eric, a 4-year varsity player for Seward.
That to hook, and it does not. Skids by at an inopportune time when they really were starting to put the pressure on. So now a mark here for Seward would make it very difficult on Gretna, and still on picks it up. So for Gretna up on the left-hand lane, here's their anchor bowler and two-handed bowler. You can see he has 2 hands on the ball through most of the shot. He can shoot 170. If Seward just stays clean and does not open, they're going to shoot right around 180. So the anchor bowler, Justin Dyke, needs to continue to strike and put some pressure on, but Seward answers, and that was a big one. That is a big one. Strike in the 9th frame. So now just 9 pins, combined 9 pins, forces Justin Dyke to strike out. So he must strike here to have a chance. Must strike, and he does. And you can see the benefits of the two-handed bowler. There's so much more rotation and revs on the ball, revolutions. The speed, you can pick up more speed, and speed, revolutions, angle of the pocket equals carry.
But being a two-handed bowler has its challenges too. It really pushes you to be a more accurate bowler, because I think when you've got 2 hands on the ball, it's a lot easier to be inaccurate and just sort of fling it down the lane someplace. And so Justin's really honed that skill of being a two-handed bowler and quite an accurate bowler, even in the only year and a half that he has been bowling.
The strike by Chase that you just saw will wrap it up. And so despite Justin Dyke punching out and finishing with a solid 170, they will lose game number 1 to Seward. So it's really those first 3 frames that ended up really hurting Seward, or ended up hurting Gretna, that and the 9 miss in the 9th frame, because had they been able to strike in the 9th, they would have won this. That would have been finishing with 6 in a row, but instead the 9 miss. It's an 89, if they would have marked there. Still would have been short, but would have been much closer. So 189 with a...
But a real testament to the power of spares. You see Seward had 1 open that game.
Right. So 189, 8 spare, and Seward does take game number 1, 189 to 170. It'll be interesting to see if Gretna can carry the momentum that they had in the back half as they struck 5 times in the second half of that first game. But again, as you said, it's a testament to the importance of spares.
Absolutely, and their coaches know something about that. Head coach Doug Himes has been bowling for 25 years. This is his first year coaching, but his assistant coach, Dave, has been bowling for 32 years, excuse me. Does have some pro experience and is in his 20th year of coaching. So a lot of knowledge and skill set from them that they are imparting on their players.
Elias still on, straight up the boards, does not react. Work yet to do.
Elias, like his brothers, is an Eagle Scout. He himself has put in over 100 hours of community service and is also involved with FFA.
Vander Heiden trying to convert here and takes the 1-2 off of the 4. There's a look at the coaches for Gretna. You mentioned Doug Hymas on the right. That's Dave Nelson, as this is missed also, so both teams open in the first frame. Dave Nelson was on the left there, the Gretna coaches. See the bald guy? That's Dave Nelson. I can say that because I know Dave well. We've bowled together in the past. Good guy.
And those coaches helped the team set a goal at the beginning of the season of bowling on TV at the end of the season. That was their ultimate goal, and here they are. They know that this is going to help with future recruiting and seasons, and just kind of told the guys last night, get a good night's sleep, relax, and bowl. Just be yourself. Do what you know how to do.
Gretna bowls out of Maplewood Lanes in Omaha. Jeannie Belis, the proprietor up there, does a terrific job in the Omaha area of promoting high school and youth bowling and working to help it get better recognition across the state.
Chris Diversey, one of their most experienced players, is a senior this year.
Here's Eric still on, another 4-year varsity player.
Eric carries a 3.8 GPA.
Back-to-back opens. Check that. 2 opens through 3 frames for the Dragons, and Seward is working on a double. Seward did exactly what they needed to do after having that open, came back with a double, put a little pressure on, and that pressure's paid off. That's going to be, wow. I thought he had pulled that, but it sat in the oil and carried. I think he thought that was a bit inside his target too. Hardy's leaves the 10 pin.
His team calls him Rhino, Kobe Hardy's, for Gretna. He's got a nickname of Rhino. He carries a 3.958 GPA. Member of the National Honor Society and the German National Honor Society.
Rhino. Now, I wonder where he got Rhino.
Right.
Looks like a bit of a bull in a china shop kind of mentality.
He gets fired up.
You're not kidding.
He throws a good shot, and he is fired up.
See, he's got that thumb out of the ball too, which certainly helps generate more revolutions, cover more boards, more speed, better angle into the pocket. The challenge can be sometimes it's difficult to control, and especially in spare conversion situations.
A situation where you don't want it to hook very much.
That's right. Good cover there.
Justin Dyke here for Gretna is also planning on attending UNL in the fall. He is going to major in biological systems engineering, excuse me, and then plans on going to medical school after that.
2 teams will switch sides here in the middle. I want to remind you, you can connect with us on Facebook and Twitter, add a comment, or catch up on the latest Nebraska sports information. Be sure to like NET Sports and Big Red Wrap-Up, and you can join in the conversation. Game number 2 here in this Class B Boys Championship. Up on the left-hand lane, here is Elias still on. A bit high, leaves the 6 pin, but they have been solid. Just 2 opens through a game and a half for Seward. And while Gretna has certainly been the more emotional of the 2 teams, and ready to get fired up. They've just been unable to back it up with much success in spare shooting. That's a big one, even though it was a crossover and went Brooklyn, and he don't ask how, they just ask how many. That's a big double. And a nice spare for Seward to extend that lead. This will be a big one here. Trips the 4 forward, and that's a 3-bagger, and look out. This is a Gretna team, because of that emotion that they ride with and they play with. When they get hot, they are into it.
Absolutely. Riley talked about how, he really called his team a brotherhood. He said that they spent the last year together, and you can really see the way that those young men support each other and are there for each other, and not only are teammates, but are good friends.
Looking to make it 4 in a row here. He struck his second shot of the first game. Will he here? That comes up a bit light. They were able to cut into the lead. Now it's a 24-pin advantage. And if Seward can again just stay clean. Tough miss there. And a mark here makes it just a 10-pin advantage. So they go from just a couple of frames ago being down by 40 to being down by 10 after a 3-bagger, and need this spare, and they got it. That's a big spare. Back-to-back strikes for Eric Stillhahn, and he comes up light there and leaves the 1-2. An important shot here, because the last 2 times that Hardy's has had an opportunity, he's done that and not been able to convert. So he has missed his last 2 single pins. Needs to get this one. This is where, if you're a coach, you might think about, okay, who do I have on the bench? What other opportunities might there be to pick up it, just because he struggled with the single pin. And now Seward picks that up, and this is really a must spare here to avoid going down 2-zip. The important shot here for Kobe Hardy's, the junior.
An important thing to do in a situation like that when you've just missed a single pin spare is shake it off and move on. There's nothing you can do about it now, and for the good of your team, you've got to rally mentally, get yourself back together, and focus on the next shot that you're going to make.
So possible 177 if Dyke can strike out. And now Dyke does have an opportunity here, especially with the washout that was just thrown by Seward. Boy, did he get that wide right. He's got room out there. That's the other thing that a two-handed bowler with that kind of revolution, it creates room, just not the whole lane.
Right. There's an edge.
We saw, yeah, there is an edge. We saw he's had about a 5-board area to strike here through the first 2 games. We've seen him miss right 5 or 6 boards and still get back. I think he probably pushed that one about 8 boards right of where he was looking. And so look at that. Look at how tight this is now. This is not over.
Absolutely not.
If he can mark here and put a little pressure, comes in high, and boy, had an opportunity there to put some pressure on and just could not. Gutter 7 to finish with a 154, and now just 1 pin. We got that, and Seward is up 2 games to none here in this Class B championship. So we told you this is the second ever trip for Seward into the finals. They won the first ever NHSBF championship in Class B back in 2003 over Beatrice. Gretna's first ever trip into the finals here. So much of this class over the last decade has been dominated by 2 teams, Hastings and Pius 10th. They are tied for the Class B lead with 5 all-time state championships. However, Pius also won a state championship in Class A. So Pius is the all-time leader in state championships on the boys' side. They've won 6 titles in the last 9 years, 1 of those in Class A, 5 in Class B. But this is the first time in 10 years that either Pius or Hastings has not been in the final. And there you see Pius won it last year. It's the second time and that's also the first time in 10 years that, one of them hasn't been here in the final. They've played each other 4 times for a Class B title.
Well, and Seward hasn't made it to state in the last 5 years. They just missed it last year.
Yeah.
So excited to have the opportunity to not only make it to state, but now to make it to the championship match. And doing well in the championship match.
Seward last year upset by York in the semifinals. York made it to that championship match last year, lost to, I believe, lost to Pius in the championship. Pius boys had won the last 2. Of course, Pius, again, we talked about earlier, moved up to Class A. Pius boys did not qualify for state this year. First time in 10 years they didn't even make it to the state tournament. Last time I mentioned that.
Garrett Cussier for Seward is another 4.0 student in the National Honor Society, an AP student, and is also a swim team coach.
That's a nice cover. Good job by Mike Mefford, who's getting an opportunity here. That was a good move. That's a good change by Coach Doug Hymas. Put in somebody else. You need to get started, need to get off to the quick start. The first 2 games, Gretna has started with an open. They went 6 open, 7-2 in the first 2 games, and to get off to a quick start can really generate some momentum. So the 8 spare was very big for Mike Mefford to come in and make the spare, and they follow that up with a strike by Riley Hermes.
Our last bowler for Seward, I apologize, was Garrett Koos, not Kuss. My apologies.
You're allowed 1 or 2.
Thank you. I need them.
I'm sure fans at home realize that we're prepping for over 2 days, 8 teams with, probably 120 some bowlers. Looking for the spare conversion here. Seward continues to be very steady. Strike spare to open up game number 3, already with a 2-zip lead.
Thomas Ringler here, another 4.0 student, has a 4.0 in the college classes that he's currently taking at SCC Beatrice in information technology.
Well, that was the opportunity for Gretna. They have not been able to put pressure on Seward all morning long. Seward has had the lead and the comfort of knowing they can make a mistake, to be free. Seward had an opportunity with that spare in the last one to take a lead, capitalize on the opening, and Gretna just couldn't take advantage of the opportunity that Seward gave them. That's a big one there.
Avery Stallon, looking for a spare here for Seward, is the youngest of the Stallon triplets, having their 18th birthday here next month.
Wow. By minutes, I'm sure.
By minutes. Wonder if he ever got grief over being the youngest. Third one to get to do anything.
If I were the youngest, I would just say you messed it up. I was actually the oldest. They mixed us up in the nursery.
Right.
Trust me. Hey, mixed there. That's a big one. Double for Gretna. And once again, that's the power of velocity, revolutions, angle into the pocket. You're just going to generate more speed, more pin carry, pins flying all over the place.
Right.
You will carry more of those shots than the traditional one-hander will. Well, Gretna does have the lead now for the first time here in the match, thanks to the double. A solid shot there by Chase Prochnauta. Put a little bit of that pressure back after back-to-back opens for Seward.
The Seward coaches, Nicole Block and Richard Gokes, talked about how Chase the senior in the team has done a great job of coaching his teammates. He's really the leader on the team, the one who sort of motivates and has a vested interest in his teammates improving right along with him.
Big shot by Thomas Ringler, getting his first opportunity. Ringler, the senior, steps up and throws a double on top of Gretna, who had just had a 3-bagger, and then Gretna with the open. Strike here gives Seward the lead back. And they got it.
There you go.
And that is a big one. Garrett Coos. That's a 3-bagger now for Seward that answers the 3 in a row from Gretna. The dinner bucket.
Riley's teammates call him Nilla
Puddin'.
Nilla Puddin'. I'm not sure. Some of the other nicknames I feel like I can figure out, but Nilla Puddin', I'm not too sure.
I was talking to Dave Nelson before the match down there in the lanes, and he said, or you can just call him Puddin'. Sure, he appreciates it. Clint Cutter here, trying to convert.
Clint, another 4.0 GPA, misses that spare right there. Carries a 4.0 GPA and a member of the National Honor Society, student council member, and an AP student. A lot of these kids carrying high GPAs and highly involved in a lot of strong academic programs in their school. Not what Gretna wanted there.
Boy, if they could have struck there, they had an opportunity to take the lead again after that Seward open, but just have been unable to capitalize on some of the key mistakes that Seward has made. So much of this is about, can you put pressure on the opponent? Can you force them to be uncomfortable and make shots that they typically wouldn't make?
Right.
When you feel like you're in control and you have a bit of a lead, your comfort zone of making the shots that you normally make is much greater. Right. You're more comfortable, more likely to make good shots. It's always been, in these championship moments, to me, the key is who can take the lead, who can put the pressure on the other team. It's so important to start out with one of your better, more solid. You certainly want your best bowler at the end because you need to in key situations, but don't you think it's important to have maybe your second best person or somebody who's going to be consistent?
Somebody who's going to be consistent, absolutely, in your leadoff spot. Not only so that you can get a good read off of them for the rest of the players in the team, but also just that confidence that they can bring when they throw a good shot and sort of set the tone for the rest of the team on what's going to happen.
So here's the situation. If the anchor bowler for Gretna, Justin Dyke, can step up and throw 3 in a row, they're going to shoot 178. If he strikes here and does not, so the best they can do now is 174. So an opportunity again for Justin Dyke, who's been hot, to throw 3 in a row and take this game. Gets that too wide, but it comes back and he rings a solid 10. That's the kind of room we were talking about. Got that a little bit wider, a little bit further out right on the lane, but it reacted. This a must spare for Chase. It's got a hook, and it does. That's a good cover. So that's it. If that's spare, Seward wins a state championship. Congratulations to Seward. You know, Chase Prochnow told his mom since he was little he was going to be on TV bowling someday. He told her, he said, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be on TV. I want to be in a state championship, and I want to win it. Well, guess who's on the lane here, on lane 28, to close it out and win a state championship for the Blue Jays? It's Chase Prochnow. So that'll close it out for Gretna. They will finish with a 154. And Prochnow up the boards. And that is a state championship for the Seward Blue Jays. They have bookended here the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation Championships as they win the first ever back in 2003 and potentially the last ever in 2017. Their second state championship for Seward. When we come back, we will have medal, trophy, and pin presentations right here from Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln.
Funding for the NMSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that over 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
Let's talk about public power for a second. Nebraska's electric utilities use a diverse mix of fuel resources to generate electricity. Wind, water, coal, nuclear, natural gas, solar, and methane. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you. Let's talk about public power for a second. Did you know Nebraska's electric utilities pay more than $100 million to communities they serve each year? Those dollars stay local, helping to empower our hometowns. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you.
If you're looking to eat better, feel better, move more, and save more, then a full day of self-improvement programs may be just what the doctor ordered. Join NET December 31st for a new year and a new you marathon beginning at 8 a.m. Central. Make 2018 your best year yet with NET.
From indispensable news to enchanting entertainment, NET exists because of your generous support. From the unbiased journalism of the PBS NewsHour to the awe-inspiring science of NOVA, the entertainment of Poldark, and the lessons learned with trusted children's programs like Odd Squad, you truly benefit from NET's dedication to truth, discovery, and wonder. Please take a moment to show your support and ensure the programming you value will continue on your statewide networks. Whether you appreciate educational children's programs, the arts, entertainment, or sports, your loyal support ensures we'll be able to continue bringing them to you. Your financial contribution allows NET to invest in our state by producing local programs of interest to Nebraskans and by acquiring PBS and NPR programming. Please ensure that this exceptional kind of broadcasting continues. Make your contribution now at netnebraska.org, and thank you for your support of NET.
Nebraska's best high school bowlers compete for state honors when the girls take the lanes during the Nebraska High School Bowling Championships tomorrow morning beginning at 8 Central. Watch NET Sports to see who captures top honor. Live streaming is available at netnebraska.org and on the NET Nebraska app.
We are back at Sun Valley Lanes. You're taking a look at the championship pins that these players will receive. Those are specially made for the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation in a partnership and a promise to only hand those out to individuals who win a state championship. We get that opportunity to do that here in just a moment. But first, before that, let's go down on the floor to our champs. Here's Carla.
Thanks, Larry. Coach, congratulations. You were able to put a lot of pressure onto the Dragons with your spare shooting. Talk about that. How much do you practice that? How does that play into winning a championship?
We knew that on these bigger games, that's what you have to do is continue to get fills, and spares are going to be a big part of it. We've worked on getting the 10 pins and just all different spares all year long.
Absolutely, and it worked out well for you. Chase, you told your mom when you were little that you were going to bowl on TV one day. How does it feel to have that statement and dream come true today?
It feels amazing, and obviously I hope it doesn't stop. I hope I keep going, but it was a great experience, and I hope everyone will be able to get an experience like that in the future as well for my team. They bowled great, so it was just an awesome time here. So it's incredible, and I hope there will be more chances for the NHSBF to also do this as well. So it was great.
Congratulations. Back to you, Larry.
All right, thanks very much. Congratulations to our state champs. They're from Seward. Great job by Chase and the entire team. Now time for medal and trophy presentations. Let's go down to Dwayne.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice round of applause for our 2 finalists? And now for your awards presentation, your Class B boys runner-up, the Gretna Dragons. Head coach, Doug Hymas. Assistant coach, Dave Nelson Jr. Michael Mefford. Riley Hymas. Tanner Vanderhidden. Kobe Hardees. Justin Dyke. Chris Zagurski. Gentlemen, here's your runner-up trophy. Congratulations to the Gretna Dragons, your Class B boys runner-up. Now, here for your 2017 Class B boys state champions, the Seward Blue Jays. Head coach Richard Goki. Assistant coach Roger Prochnow. Clint Cutter. Elias Dillon. Avery Stillon. Eric Stillon. Chase Prochnow. Garrett Coos. Thomas Ringler. Gentlemen, here's your championship trophy. Congratulations to your 2017 Class B Boys State Champions, the Seward Blue Jays.
It was a sweep, 3 straight. Seward wins it over Gretna, 174-154 in the final. When we come back, our Class A showdown is just ahead. Should be our best battle of the day. It's Lincoln Northeast and Columbus coming up next on NET.
The values that Methodists bring is family.
It's important going through school that you're not just a number, that you're a face and that you're a name to a teacher. And so I loved the small class sizes.
What it means to me is that I found my foundation where I can build on my passion and I can embrace something new in my life. It is a place where I know that I'm supposed to be.
Funding for the NHSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that over 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
All right, college visit number 2. Here we go. What?
Learn more from Education Quest at govisitcollege.org.
Well, you can get your copy of the 2017 Nebraska High School Boys and Girls Championships on DVD, offered by the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Just visit NHSBF.com and follow the links. You can keep these memories for a lifetime. Should be a good one here in Class A. We've got two of the best teams in the state, regardless of class, the Northeast Rockets and the Columbus Discoverers. Columbus 12-1 on the year. Northeast has lost a couple. They're 5-2. Here's a look at Columbus, and head coach Jay Olson, along with his senior-laden squad, 5 seniors in this lineup: Nick Borgman, Landon Barcel, Olson, Gassman, Wright, Dahlman, and Beisner. That is the lineup for the Discoverers of Columbus. The Rockets from Northeast are coached by Tony Vondra and Gary Vondra. They are the co-head coaches. Tibbin Mansfield, Alex Converse, just a freshman. Chase Bolt's a junior. He was here last year when they won the title. Renzo Mendez was as well. Matt Doman, an outstanding sophomore. And Caden Niederhaus is just a freshman. Good-looking Northeast team, good-looking Columbus team, good-looking match coming your way on NET Sports. Class A championship will be decided when we come back right here on NET.
Talk about public power for a second. Did you know Nebraska is the only state in the nation served entirely by public power electric utilities? Community-owned utilities mean Nebraskans are working for Nebraskans. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you. Let's talk about public power for a second. Did you know Nebraska's electric utilities are governed by locally elected or appointed boards and councils? This means you have a voice in the decisions made by your local utility. Just another way your electric utility shows how public power works for you.
Funding for the NMSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that over 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
For me, asking why is just getting started.
It's more than an activity. It's me doing what I love.
I'm not a stereotype. When I rewrite the rules, things get better.
I know that all these experiences matter.
These moments will help me become something more.
Little things always lead to something bigger.
Do it.
Track it.
Earn it.
What you're doing now will help you get scholarships later. Find resources from Education Quest at trackyoursuccess.org.
Well, more Nebraska High School Bowling Federation Championships on NET tomorrow. Nebraska's best high school girls teams will compete tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central on NET. You can check it out on the web at netnebraska.org/sports and on the NET Nebraska app. We get going here in Class A. Columbus on the left-hand lane. They were the number 4 seed overall against Northeast, the number 2 seed. Start off here with Nick Borgman, the senior, averages 199, no thumb in that ball as he comes high and leaves a high 6-pin. Here's Tibbin Mansfield, the junior, averages 179. He's been the leadoff bowler for this Rocket squad all year. Very solid player, right around the pocket all day, leaves a ringing 10. He'll make a slight adjustment off that. Borgman cross lane, no trouble, and a first mark for the Discoverers. Mansfield, cross lane at the 10-pin, solid shot, no trouble there. Northeast looking for its second consecutive state title. They won an exciting one last year against Fremont. Went down to the wire. Here's Colby Dahlman. Dahlman crosses over, leaves the 3-9, some work to do there as we'll have to hook at that, or likely we'll hook at it. There's a freshman, Alex Converse.
Converse is just a freshman carrying a 186 average.
Converse got the carry, came in a bit light, mixed them up.
Fired up there.
try to convert here, and a good cover by Colby Dolman.
On a difficult spare. That's an easy one to chop.
Here is Chase Bolts. He's a junior. Averages 194. Chase typically a bit deeper than everyone else, creates some room for himself, and leaves a weak 10 after that. I'm sure both Tony and Gary Vonder will tell him to move right a bit, generate a little more back end, a little more through the pins. That comes up light as well, and a washout for Winton Gassman. A 10 pin here for Chase Bolts, who was part of that championship team last year for the Rockets. And a good cover.
Another Rocket success this year. They bowled the Star City Open here at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, and talked about how a Lincoln team hasn't won it in years, but this year the Northeast team took that title.
Tried to cross over and cover that 10, did not get it out. First Open for either team. Here is Renzo Mendez. Renzo's been bowling his entire life, great player. Been to several junior golds. In his junior year, averages above 200. Renzo's just such a simple, direct game, and did he get the carry? He did! Solid player is Mendez. And here's the lefty. Kirsten Olsen rips the rack, and Olsen, coach's son, leaves the 7 pin. Gets a lot of hand on the ball. Speaking of a lot of hand in the ball, here is the sophomore, Matt Doman. If you watched last year, you saw Doman throw 3 in a row in the 10th to come from behind and beat Fremont. And sometimes that's all that kid does is strike.
It's a beautiful, beautiful shot. He says the strength of his game is his ability to repeat shots, and you see that over and over again with him.
Tell you, when you can throw the ball with the kind of hand, velocity, and repeatability that he does,
absolutely,
that makes for a dangerous player. So the open there, back-to-back opens, as Columbus maybe suffering here early from just a few jitters. Here's their anchor bowler, Michael Wright, and Michael straight up the boards with a lot of hand. Threw everything at the 7, but didn't get it.
Michael has a high game of 300, a high series of 793 that he shot at Boulevard Lanes. He's also been an individual USBC state champion back in 2011.
And a good cover by Wright. Two teams will switch sides. Earlier this year, these two squared off in conference play or during the regular season, and it was Columbus knocking off Northeast in that match. Northeast suffered only 2 losses this year. One of those was to Columbus. And that was a building block. In listening to head coach Jay Olson, he said that, you know, when we knocked off the defending state champs, we knew we had something here. Needs to get up. Some work left there on the 2-5 for Mansfield. Maybe just got a little quick. He left the weak 10 on the right lane. Now he came in light, and you would hope that, you know, he gets some instruction there and tell him to move right. Get your feet 2 and 1 right, maybe 3 and 2 right, as it's a great shot there by Borgman.
Absolutely. When you hear Larry say things like the ball needs to get up, that means it's coming in light to the pocket, and you want it to make a hook to the left or a hook to the right, as it would be with a left-handed bowler. But it's coming in, and you want it to move just a little bit to get itself square into the pocket.
Important spare there to keep that 30-pin lead. It's right now a 36-pin advantage, but Columbus on a strike. An important opportunity here. And you saw the pin go flying behind the 4-pin, did not trip. Converse now, the freshman. Yep. Trips the 2-pin forward. Big shot. Little fist pump to the crowd for Converse. He'll get him going.
Colby up for Columbus right now. Enjoys being on the river and working on 4-wheelers. He's also an avid computer user and likes to play golf.
So Columbus still trying to find its way around here early on. As you see, they've struck just once through 7 frames. The Bolts with 4 strikes, including that big double in the 4th and 5th. And here's Bolts trying to put another double on top of that. And then you could see the move. He moved right after coming in light, as we suggested he should. And what a great shot by Chase Bolts. Denner bucket. Second time in a row that Winton has come in light, and he'll likely make that same adjustment. You can tell that he certainly moved after leaving the washout. Maybe needs to make one more. Here's Mendez looking for the double. Pocket 10 for Renzo Mendez.
And Coach talked about Mendez's maturity, that he is somebody who just has a mature attitude and helps keep the team focused. And this is a situation where that mature attitude is really going to help. When you're the one who doesn't get the strike after a double, you need somebody who's going to handle that well and be able to stay focused on shooting that spare, even though there's likely a little bit of disappointment to not continue that strike streak. And he makes that spare.
Already 187 for the Rockets. 177 is the best that Columbus can shoot, so Northeast will take an early lead here and win game number 1 as there's Olsen with a terrific shot. Tries to get this team going. Rips that 4-pin.
Matt Doman talked about, he was another teammate who talked about the Star City Open being a really great tournament. And one of the things he talked about wasn't just the fact that they had the success at the Star City Open, but also that it was really, really difficult competition. And you can tell he's a player who enjoys that competition. He enjoys being pushed by other players, and he really takes that as motivation for him to improve.
It's one of those tournaments where you get teams from other states coming in here to Sun Valley Lanes. We're going to be able to compete against the best, and Doman has done nothing but strike. That's 4 strikes in his, check that, 3 strikes in his 3 shots. That's a ripped rack by Wright.
Michael Wright of Columbus is heading to Wayne State College after he graduates to major in special education. He currently volunteers with some special needs camps and is looking to make that his career.
I wonder if he'll bowl there. I believe they're starting a new bowling program at Wayne.
They are.
And a good cover. 166 for Columbus, but the 227 that the Rockets put on the board, too tough to beat, and the Rockets take a 1-0 lead here early on in this Nebraska High School Bowling Federation Boys Class A State Finals. Let's see if the Discoverers can make a couple of adjustments here, make a move, get that confidence back that they built throughout the year during the season when they went 12-1. John Eckholt is the proprietor at Westbrook Lanes, where the Discoverers bowl. Tibin Mansfield gets the carry. Open up game number 2 here for Northeast. Eckholt has been a coach in the past for Columbus. They've certainly been here before. This is the 6th time in the finals for Columbus. They won the title in 2007. They won it in 2009. They won it in 2011. As you see, Borgman with the strike there, Nicholas Borgman. Columbus was also runner-up in 2008, in 12 and 13. A little high there, leaves a 6-pin. Opportunity here for Columbus to take its first lead of the match. If they can double up. And they do. Well, that's what you want to do against a hot team and a team that's been here before, is put some pressure on the other team. Make them be the team that feels like they have to make shots.
Something that was always sort of an unspoken mantra when I bowled for the Huskers was to take advantage.
Yep.
Take advantage of the opportunities that they give you and be consistent in your own game. Don't give them any opportunities.
And There's an opportunity that Northeast has given Columbus. First time we're going to see Landon Barcel, the senior. Straight up the boards, does not finish and leaves the washout. And I think he is in there because of the trouble that Winton Gassman had. Gassman came in light just like that, left a washout, went to the left lane. And came in a little bit light as well. Big shot there in response after the open by Chase Bolts. That's what you want when a teammate uncharacteristically opens up or opens the door or gives the other team an opportunity, is to jump right back on it, create more confidence for your team. Nice job by Chase.
Absolutely. It's such a mental motivation too when you've had something like an unexpected open in the second frame to come back with a strike. It not only, score-wise helps your team, but mentally gets them back on track.
So Barcel takes 2 off of the washout. That's going to cross over for Mendez. He leaves the 6-pin.
Mendez is a part of Pershing Pals at his school. Pershing is an elementary school here in Lincoln that partners with the Northeast Rockets to get some of the elementary students some mentors in high school students. It gives the high school students an opportunity for some leadership.
Arston Olsen didn't carry the crossover there. He went Brooklyn. Pulled it a bit. Cover in the spare by Mendez. Essentially even here as Columbus leads it by 4 pins. Both teams have an open. It was that 6-pin count on the double. Good cover there by Columbus. Here's Matt Doman on the left-hand lane.
Doman carries a 4.111 GPA.
Got that wide and did not get back. He knew it off the hand that he sent it a bit wide.
That's the mark of a bowler who really knows their game well, when as soon as the ball is off their hand, they have an idea of what is or is not going to happen.
He was trying to twirl it back up right away. You've done that before, haven't you?
Maybe.
You do it the other way. Lefties. And a good cover by Doman.
Coach Vondra talked about Doman being the most consistent player in the team, the one that they can really count on to be a predictable player, and that he's just such a team player for the Rockets.
Michael Wright leads the state in deadwood created. You saw him just take that 10-pin off the back of the curtain and shoot it back out onto the lane. We've already taken it out of there, but boy, he throws a heavy ball, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
4-pin difference as we head to the back half of game number 2. Borgman on the left-hand lane. Initially, I thought he did not have the thumb of the ball, and after I see that, maybe he keeps it in there, but he just keeps it so cocked and underneath it really well. We'll have to take a close look at that here next time. Here's Tibbin, who tugs it across the lane, and wow, that was fortunate. Just a weak 10 as it did not quite finish through for Dolman.
Dolman's a senior this year, hasn't decided yet where he wants to go to college, but knows he wants to do something with small engines or computer or possibly something with architecture.
Converse an opportunity to double. That's going to hook. And a big shot for the Rockets and Alex Converse. That puts them back in the lead. Colby Dahlman needs the cover and got it.
Chase Bolts up next for the Rockets. In addition to the 194 average that he carries in bowling, he also loves to play baseball.
Bolts has gone back-to-back strikes here in his last 2 shots. Pulls that. Oh boy.
It's not how, but...
How many? So they have thrown 2 Brooklyns into that 3-bagger to take the lead, and that's the kind, if you're Columbus, you're the Discoverers, first of all, you don't want to watch, right? Because it's just going to frustrate you.
Right.
But 2, you have to refocus. Realize bad things are going to happen, and it's not what happens to you, but how do you react to that?
Absolutely.
And they reacted well. Landon Barcel with a big shot. Mendez trying to make it 4 in a row. Boom. The Rockets are running away and hiding here in game number 2. They're not going to let Columbus find them anywhere. Olsen with the big shot in the mixer. Not sure it's going to matter at this point. 31, 61, 91, 221, the best Columbus can shoot. And already. Ooh. So there is an opportunity here. Wright needs this one. Crosses over, does not get it to go. Could have shot 221 if he would have punched out, and the best Lincoln Northeast can now shoot is 216. But as it is now, Doman just needs to cover the spare. If he covers the spare, they're going to win it. They already have. 200, the best that Columbus can shoot here in this game, and already 206 for Lincoln Northeast. So let's see if Doman makes a move off of that last shot. I'll be interested to see. It finished strong. He wants to stay ahead of the move. You're in a situation where this shot doesn't matter. It's a great opportunity to do a little bit of an area check.
Absolutely.
Maybe make a 2-and-1 or 3-and-2 move inside just to check your area to see what you have. Let's see if he does that.
Well, he's got quite an arsenal of bowling balls to choose from.
Yes, he does.
So, great opportunity to just see what another one is going to do on the lanes.
So 216 for the Rockets. They've gone 227, 216. And an even 200 if Wright strikes here. Check that into the game for Wright was Tim Beisner, and Beisner does strike. They get 9, so 199 the score for Columbus, and they find themselves down 2-0 here in this Class A championship.
Lincoln Northeast coach Gary Vonder talked about how they have 6 solid bowlers on this team, and team unity is a strength for them, but they're still such a young team, and he wondered if that was going to be a weakness, but it doesn't seem like that's a weakness right now.
Start of game number 3. Just didn't see that if keeps that thumb in the ball. Certainly has a thumb drilled. Mansfield high, kicks the 4-pin forward. Rockets have had some good breaks here in these last 2 games. They go Brooklyn twice and drop a 4-bagger in the middle of those 2 Brooklyns. And here they come up high and trip a 4.
Borgman looking for a spare here for the Discoverers. He is anticipating, he's not sure where he wants to school yet, but is planning on being a pre-chiropractic major, and says that one of the strengths of his game is that he can adjust quickly. Pre-chiropractic, and he adjusts quickly.
Like I was set up there. Converse needs to react. Back to back for the Rockets.
Lots of emotion from those Rockets.
Colby Dahlman now in the left-hand lane would like to keep pace. Don't let the Rockets get too far away. Cover it. Got it. Messenger delivered.
Chase Bolt's up now for the Rockets. has been on the honor roll for all 5 semesters of high school. He carries a 3.9 GPA and is thinking he might want to attend UNL or Nebraska Wesleyan and major in health sciences.
Bolt's got a handful of that one, and it reacted quickly. Let's get a smile from Chase. That his dad, Scott, has taught him everything he knows about the game.
You know, so many of these players are not only strong athletically with their bowling game, but strong academically. And one of the things that they're really hoping for is that next month when the vote goes to the NSAA legislative districts to hopefully approve bowling as a sanctioned activity in the state of Nebraska, that Nebraska can join 30 other states who currently have high school as a bowling, or excuse me, currently have bowling as a high school varsity sport.
So the 6 miss by Bolt's not ideal, especially when you're on a strike. Those 2 pins could have been 4 pins of count. And the same thing really there for Barcel, who just got 1. That cost him 2 pins of count as well. So 48-46, Lincoln Northeast up by 2 pins here in the third. Mendez with just a beautiful shot. And here's Olson on the left-hand lane. Boy, he grabs a ton at the bottom, doesn't he?
Strong shot that he throws.
Week 7 there.
Matt Doman up for the Rockets has a high game of 289 that he shot at Hollywood Bowl here in Lincoln, and a high series of 778 that he shot right here at Sun Valley.
6th strike in 3 games for Matt Doman. 9 spare in the 5th, 9 spare to start the 10th. Everything else has been a strike, and there's a good cover by Olson, who's also done well here early on. There's a head coach of Columbus in his first season, Jay Olson. And Michael right now will finish off this first half of game number 3 for Columbus. Back-to-back strikes already for the Rockets. They need one here, and he rips the pocket and leaves a 7. Here's Gary Monroe chatting with Mansfield, saying, hey, buddy, let's go get this. Throw one on him right here, man. 3 in a row could put him in a huge gap. The big double. Mendez and Doman go back-to-back in the 4th to give the Rockets the lead, and Columbus finds himself in a tough situation. Big ball by Mansfield. Tibbin with 10. So here is Nicholas Borden. Let's see if he gets that thumb in, and he does. So look at how much he really cocks that wrist, and he keeps it cupped the whole way. And almost the thumb not a factor in that release. He really hits it hard at the bottom and very consistent for.
And something that bowlers really look for is to get the thumb out first and turn the ball with your fingers.
Absolutely what he does.
Absolutely.
Converse. Boy, he's had a big match here for a freshman. Stepped up big. He's got 3 strikes in a row, and that's 4 straight for the Rockets. In fact, the freshman, Alex Converse, has 5 strikes in 6 frames. The only time he didn't strike was a 9 miss. He's been solid in the middle of that lineup for Northeast. And Bolts won't waste any time. Even though they're a frame ahead, while they have momentum, they're gonna try to put the pressure here on the Discoverers. Bolts, remember, just split a second ago. He made an adjustment and rings the 10. So now an opportunity here for the Discoverers, and this is really, you hate to say it in the 7th frame, but this is almost a must-strike situation. And they got it. That's a big shot for Colby Dolman.
One of the concerns that Coach Jay Olson of the Discoverers had was that sometimes the team can just get in their own head and can just sort of play mental games with themselves. And so I'm sure he's really looking to the team right now to overcome that, particularly with the Rockets just having an open there in the 8th frame.
Well, that was a big open because on a strike now, it gives Landon Barcel the opportunity to even this match if they can go strike right here and strike in the 9th. It would be 165 to 164 if they can go 3 in a row right here. Big shot by Barcel in the pocket. Does he carry? No. Maybe a little inside target or maybe a little quick. So now back in control are the Rockets, and Mendez with a little smile. Needs to sit. It does. Yeah. What a shot. Mendez knew it. He said, I'm just going to go throw one up here and give it to my anchor. Let him pile on and close this out. And they're going to have Doman wait here. I'm surprised at that move they would have him wait because it's not over yet. When it's over, that's typically when you say slow down, let's wait on momentum. But that 7-2 does not help Discoverer's cause. So now it is a 30-pin advantage. 192 is the best that Columbus can have. And if Doman could just mark in the 10th, they're going to shoot 2-0. Must strike here for Olson. Has to happen.
Great shot. Great shot by Olson.
So Doman will go ahead and bowl now.
Both teams working off a strike, but that strike for both teams is coming off of an open in the 8th frame.
Right. Strike here. Doman strikes. They're state champs for the 2nd year in a row. And now a must-strike situation for Wright. Still got an opportunity. Has to strike here. Crosses. Does not get it. And Northeast is your state champ. 172, the best that Columbus can have, and already Lincoln Northeast 190 plus in the books. Slides by it, but it's not going to matter. 193 the final for the Rockets. So the Rockets go 227, 216, 193.
And you know, you saw the disappointment on Doman's face right there as he missed that spare. Even though, and that's another mark of such a strong player, is even though you've just won it, he knows he should have made it. Right. And so he's got that, I'm sure, excitement that they just took the title, but also, gosh, I should have had that. Should have had that spare.
Absolutely. Opportunity here for Winton Gassman. Started off in the lineup and punches in the 10th, but that will do it. The Rockets sweep Columbus and win their 2nd straight state championship. 3-0 for Northeast. What a finish for the Rockets as they win a state title here. 3-0, they go 227, 216, 193. They'll get medals, trophies, and pins when we come back right here on NET Sport.
Funding for the NMSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that over 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
The values that Methodists bring is family.
It's important going through school that you're not just a number, that you're a face and that you're a name to a teacher. And so I loved the small class sizes.
What it means to me is that I found my foundation where I can build on my passion and I can embrace something new in my life. It is a place where I know that I'm supposed to be.
All right, college visit number 2. Here we go. What?
Learn more from Education Quest at govisitcollege.org.
It's a family tree.
We invite our friends and our family, and we have a big celebration.
So this is a celebration of the life in the darkest time of the year.
We are just going to give.
Easy, you can do it.
This is what it looks like.
Are you ready?
Ta-ta!
That's a hot tomato. Oh, they smell great. These make me so happy.
Does life get better than that?
Happy holidays and a peaceful new year.
The quantity of incredible pieces that they have in their collecting. They're just the best example of generous collectors in the United States, and they just happen to be in Omaha, Nebraska. It's pretty exciting.
The new season of Nebraska Stories begins January on NET.
This is Sharon Hoffman from Kearney, Nebraska, and I watch, listen, and support NET. Roger and I both grew up in big families. Having 6 children was just natural for us. At that time, Sesame Street was a big deal. Like, that's what the kids watched. And I think that's probably one of the reasons we started giving. Sesame Street was such a good program for the kids to watch. If we want to keep having NET in this state, and we want to continue to have quality programming, we need to give to NET. I want to see NET continue forever.
This holiday season, I celebrate our homegrown heroes, the veterans who fight for this country, and now cultivate the land they fought so valiantly for. Join me for Lydia Celebrates America, Homegrown Heroes. Salute.
Tonight at 7 Central on NET.
And welcome back to Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. They are the state champs, the Rockets from Lincoln Northeast. They win it in 3-zip. And for more with the champs, let's go down to Carla.
Thanks, Larry. Congratulations, Renzo. Renzo, you were clean in all of your frames, 4 strikes and 6 frames. Talk to me about how practice prepares you for moments like this to stay clean and to do what your team needs you to do.
The past 6 weeks have been exceptionally hard for all of us to make sure that we're at practice and making sure that we're focusing on picking up our spares, hitting our strikes, keeping our marks down. And it's good to see how well it pays off, you know. So.
Absolutely. Congratulations. And Coach, you have a remarkably talented team and a young team. Can you talk about how special this team is and the future that you see for this team?
Yeah, this team is very talented. We added 2 new freshmen this year. We picked up right where we left off last year. We expect to be back next year, and hopefully if it passes in January 10th, we can continue on after that.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the Northeast Rockets. Larry, back to you.
All right, thanks very much. Great job. Congratulations to the Rockets. They're state champs, winning it in 3-zip. And now for trophy presentations, let's go to Dwayne DeMode.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice round of applause for our 2 finalists? And now for the awards presentation. Your Class A boys runner-up, the Columbus Discoverers. Head coach Jay Olson. Nicholas Borgman. Landon Barcel. Karsten Olson. Winton Gassman. Michael Wright. Kobe Dahlman. Tim Beisner. Here's your runner-up trophy. Congratulations, the Columbus Discoverers, your Class A boys runner-up. And now, here's your 2017 Class A boys state champions, the Lincoln Northeast Rockets. Coaches Tony and Gary Vondra. Tibin Mansfield. Alex Converse. Chase Bowles. Renzo Mendez. Matt Doman. Caden Niederhaus. Gentlemen, here's your championship trophy. Congratulations to your 2017 Class A Boys State Champions, the Lincoln Northeast Rockets.
Lincoln Northeast, your state champs. Congratulations to the Rockets, who win back-to-back state championships. They win it in a sweep. If we go back and take a look at the long day we've had, it started early this morning. Ravenna wins it 3-1, wins a state title. North Bend, a 5th consecutive state title for the Tigers of North Bend Central, 3-zip. Seward wins it in 3, and Northeast also a sweep. All of our matches today sweeps outside of the Ravenna 3-1 win to start today. Thanks for joining us. I want to remind you the girls are tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. right here on NET. So that'll do it for the boys state championships. I'm Larry Putney for Carla Bandemer and the entire NET Sports production crew. Thanks so much for joining us here at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning with the girls.
Whether it's spring planting, fall harvesting, or just a drive across the state, soy biodiesel helps a diesel-powered engine operate in a demanding job. Soybean oil from Nebraska soybeans makes biodiesel a renewable fuel that's also environmentally responsible. The soybean checkoff plays a major role in supporting the use and availability of biodiesel. The Nebraska Soybean Board, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Funding for the NHSBF State Championships was provided by the Lincoln Bowling Association through grants from the Bear Foundation and the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. Reminding you that over 1,000 high school students compete statewide in varsity bowling.
Nebraska's best high school bowlers compete for state honors when the girls take the lanes during the Nebraska High School Bowling Championships tomorrow morning beginning at 8 Central. Watch NET Sports to see who captures top honor. Live streaming is available at netnebraska.org and on the NET Nebraska app.
Hi, I'm Mark Leonard, NET General Manager.
We've just finished another successful member drive, and I'd like to thank everyone who made a contribution. Because of you, NET will continue to bring you the best in children's programming, sports action, legislative coverage, and all the other services that we provide. NET is your public media, and your support makes it possible. Thank you.
It's all-day fun on NET Kids. Starting January 1st, all your favorite shows are staying the same, but they have new times. Visit our website or call 800-634-6788 for a program schedule. Same great shows all day long on NET.
NET salutes the Nebraska sesquicentennial.
People have followed the Platte River westward from wagon wheels to car tires. Our official state river has guided people along its stunning 310 miles. The Platte begins in Wyoming and Colorado in two separate rivers, the North and the South, and merge near the city of North Platte. The Platte has grown our farms and our cities along its banks, and on February 26, 1998, the Platte River was declared to be the official state river.
This Nebraska 150 moment is produced by NET with support from Humanities Nebraska.